the Flow Fiesta. We're going to do record triggered flow example, doing a fast field update and querying related records. Welcome back to SteveTechArc. We're in the Flow Fiesta where we're diving into flows from an architect's point of view. Today we're looking at one of the flow types, record triggered flows, and it can be run in two different modes, fast field updates or regular mode. We're going to look at the fast field updates, which by nature is it fires early in the order of execution. And that means that it's before the records have been written and committed into the database. So there are less things you can do functionally, but it runs far more performant, much, much faster. So this is going to be looking at fast field updates. And I'm creating an example where we're going to listen to a change on the account object. We're going to query related contacts, count them, and we're going to write that count back to a field on the account. Now, this is easily done with like a master detail field, but this is here to highlight what you can do with the record trigger flow and the fast field updates. So here we are on the new flow screen. We're going to hit new. We're going to start from scratch. Now we're going to create a record triggered flow. Create. And here is what we're going to do. We're going to choose this as the account object. We're going to save no conditions. So we're going to run on all records that might be modified. And we're going to do fast field updates. So this is the one we're going to focus in on today. So this gives us early in the order of execution. Now we're going to do is we're going to add an element. We're limited by the number of elements that we have. What we're going to do is we're going to do a get records. And we're going to give it a nice name. That sounds like a verb. Get related contacts. We're going to give it a description. Now we're going to choose the contact. We're going to have, now this is where you could be adding your special business logic. We're going to say there are no conditions. We could be filtering it. They could be doing a sort order. We're actually going to say all the records, and we could store all the fields, but we're going to choose to, let's say, just grab the ID field. And what we're going to do is save. So let's see why get related records. We're going to edit the element. And we are going to need to find which contacts to query. So we're going to say where their account is equal. And here we're going to choose the original record that triggered the flow. So here is the original record. And now we're going to choose the field we're going to match to. So in this case is the ID. So now what we have is we're choosing the related contacts. We're pulling only their ID field. And we're saving that. Now what we're going to do is, this is just one way to do this, is we're going to add a loop. And so this is going to be process related contacts. We're going to choose the collection from the original query. And then we're going to close this. We're going to come in here and we're going to do an assignment. And so what we're going to do is we're going to update the counter. Now here is where we're going to create a variable with a new resource. We're going to make it a variable, give it an API name of related contact counter. We're going to choose its data type as number, no decimals. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a default value of 0. So we know that if there are no related contacts, we'll have it. And we're not going to do input or output. We'll explain that in future videos. And we're going to hit done. And so now we've got this loop with the counter. And then down outside the loop, what we're going to do is we're going to update. So we're going to come right here. We're going to update the related records. Now we can only update because we're in a fast field update, we can only update the original account. Update number of employees. So what we're going to do is we only can do the record that was triggered the flow. We're not going to do any conditions. We're just going to take them all. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look for the field number of employees, and we're going to give it the variable that we created. It's important you give it good naming, so that way it's clear. This is the related contact counter. And then we're going to close. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save this flow. I like to give flows a really good name so it sorts properly. Account tells me the object, record triggered flow. Record trigger, and update number of employees. Give it a good name, give it a good description. And now what we're going to do is we're going to activate this. So we're activating this flow. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at the data. So here's a record gene point. It's got one contact. Now it's flagged as 265 employees, but that's because our flow is just active and no records have changed. What we're going to do is we're going to change the industry, and we're going to hit save. And it didn't change. So what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at our flow. So if we take a look at our flow, we have the get related records, the loop. Here's the update assignment. We're going to edit, and here is where we left something out. So what we're going to do is inside the loop, we're going to do an update the counter. We're going to take the variable, we're going to go add, and we're going to add 1 to it. So this is just a simple way of incrementing the counter by 1. And then what we're going to do is close this, and we're going to go save as a new version, and we're going to activate. So now we have a new active. Here's gene point. We're going to go ahead and change its industry to education. So I updated the trigger to go on a record is created or updated. We come to gene point, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to related. We're going to add a new contact. Homer Simpson. Hit save. So now what we have is we've created a second contact. We're going to trigger an edit on the record. And hit save. And now it's got employees number 2. So this flow is now executing. What we have is a record triggered flow. We're getting the related contacts. We're doing a loop. Within the loop, we're doing an assignment to a variable with a default value. And then what we're doing is we're then updating the field on the account. Because it's a fast field update, it can only update fields on the original count triggered by the record triggered flow. So when you have record triggered flows and you do the fast field updates, there's going to be a certain record in memory that triggered the fast field update. From there, you can manipulate fields on that account. You can then go query other data, but you can learn things from that data and update back the original account. What's happening is you're not actually updating the account. You're in the order of execution. It's brought the data into memory. You're then doing a quick side query, updating it, and then letting the normal order of execution fire. So this is good for actions straight on the account record, or actions that need data from somewhere else, but still only act on the original account record. So we're showing you do proper naming, use verbs for the actions and the elements, give and put in descriptions at the top level on the flows. So thank you for joining Fast Flows. Join me again, same bat time, same bat channel, and we'll dive deeper and deeper into what flows can do. Have a great day.